in addition to being in the CPG space myself for a long time, I come from Whole Foods Market. I'm also a certified life coach. That's the normal path that we go down. Whole Foods Market, PTSD, and then certified life coach. So I am a one-on-one coach for several brands actually in this room, but I work with CPG brands that want to get to the next level. And you know what actually really stops us a lot of times is what's in here, right? We can have the best product, all the money in the world, hopefully, or some of it, and all the time, but it's what's going on in our head. So I thought it would be great to do a little bit around that. You guys have heard a lot already from all of our experts. And so we're going to wind it down with something a little bit different. All right. So I'm going to start with this quote. And I think this really sums up where we are at. So good times create weak people. Weak people create bad times. Bad times create strong people. Strong people create good times. And so this is a quote by G. Michael Hoff. This is where we're at. So that's why we're here today. A little scared straight, truth talk. So this is where we're at. And resilience is really about how do we get through these bad times to become strong, right? To come out stronger on the other end, because this is cyclical. It does change. If you've been around long enough, you know, right? This is not our first downturn in the market. This is not the first time that we've gone through challenging times. But somehow we always think that this is the first time when we're in it. I don't know how that works. But I want you to just take a minute, and I'm sorry this mic is hot, but take a minute and just close your eyes for a second and just kind of notice in your body how you're feeling. You've been presented a lot of information, a lot of data, case scenarios, ups and downs, right? And you might be feeling some anxiousness, some overwhelm, confusion, some doubt, stress. Maybe you're feeling hopeful. That might be something as well. But it's just good to notice, because I think as entrepreneurs, we just go, go, go. We're like, I'll think about that later. I'll feel my feelings later, right? But like, we're in it for the long haul here. And so noticing what's going on in our body is really a skill that really does build resilience. So I am going to ask, I just got a little ahead of myself. Okay. So what we are doing here is akin to a buffalo running into the storm, which is actually instinctively what buffaloes do, which is wild, right? Like a cow is like running away from the storm, but a buffalo actually goes into the storm because they can get through it faster, right? Get on to the other side. And so that is what we are trying to offer you here, is give you information. You're taking stock, you're getting the facts, you're seeking ideas. You are hopefully going to have some new information to make the decisions. And this is really the work of being a CEO, right? It's not buying into all the drama and all of the chaos and the worry and the doubt in our minds. It's like, I'm going to make a plan, and to Tim's point, I'm going to like revisit it and make sure it's strong, but we're going into it. We're not trying to run away from it, which just prolongs it, right? When you're running away from it. And so it is really important to know the facts, to get the information. But I think we tend to stay there a lot. And we have to remember that it's not just the facts, it's not just the strategy, it's also how you are doing it, how you are showing up, how you are taking the action. That you are, you make the decisions, and then what, right? And this is the mental training of CEOs and athletes, right? High performers. there's lots of great athletes in the world, but what makes some elite? What makes some those professional athletes? And so I really believe that we have to do that mental work as the CEOs in our business to become that, to do that, those mental gymnastics. As Tony Robbins says, it's 80% mental and 20% mechanics. So it's really about, you can run into the storm and be like, this is the worst thing ever, and I'm going and I'm going to complain the whole way and I'm going to make a lot of drama about it? Or is it like, I'm going in and we're going to figure this out, right? And I'm going to be better on the other side. So how you do it makes a huge difference. All right. So one thing we need to do as entrepreneurs is constantly raise our state. And you guys have been sitting a while, so I'm going to ask you guys to humor me. We're going to do something a little fun. So I'd like for you to stand up, and I'd like for you to just look at the person next to you. So just find a partner. Raise your hand if you are A. All right. B, your job is to not laugh. Oh, God. You have to keep a straight face for as long as possible. And A needs to try to make the other person laugh. All right, demonstrate. We're just going to go. All right, on 3, A, you're going to make the other person laugh by doing whatever silly thing. All right, on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Mushroom coffee stuff.
You can do it!
Yeah. All right, yeah, that was easy. I don't know if I have anything lined up. I'm sitting here.
This is not. Did you laugh?
He got me right away.
I laughed within 3 seconds.
Yeah. All right, we'll keep laughing. Okay, go ahead and stop.
Okay.
All right. Okay, now we're gonna just switch really quick. We can give the other person a try. I want to hear laughter in this room. Laughter does so many good things in our body. So switch it up. And you're gonna reverse roles. All right, 1, 2, 3, go.
I'm sitting there, I'm racking my brain for a joke I can say that isn't going to kick out. And I think,
I'm worried about going to sleep.
All right, have a seat. I know, I'm asking you to get out of your comfort zone. You never have to do that as a brand, by the way. Never. You never have to do hard things. So, hopefully now, notice in your body, do you feel a little bit lighter? Feel a little more optimistic? Energy's up. I can feel it in the room. The energy's up a little bit. When we laugh, we release endorphins. It lowers our blood pressure. We're able to problem solve a lot easier. And these are the things that we have to do to be more resilient as CEOs, as entrepreneurs, doing the hard work in the world to get our amazing products out in front of people. And so thank you so much for going through that. And you can find, my thing is corgi videos. That's my thing. So, but go find your own thing, whatever works for you. I like to tell people to direct your brain on purpose. So I am not an Ed Sheeran fan, not really. I mean, I was neutral, let's say. A friend of mine invited me to go last weekend, 2 weekends ago. And now I cannot stop hearing Ed Sheeran everywhere I go. It's in the coffee shop. It's in the clothing store, right? It's like on the radio. Everywhere I turn, I'm like, what the heck, right? So this is what's called our reticular activating system. This is our brains that when you start shopping for a car, or you hear some music, all of a sudden you start seeing that car everywhere. And what we need to do to become more resilient is to purposely direct our brain to say, here's what is important, here's what I'm going to look for, and here's what I'm going to exclude. Because left unattended, your brain is always looking for the bad. It has a negative bias. And so if we're going to be more resilient, if we're going to come out on top of this, we need to be looking for the good on purpose. So you get to decide what, and to look for what's working. You get to tell your brain to pay attention on what's important. And so we don't have time tonight, but I think that you can find, I would ask yourself as you go home, as you're thinking about tonight, what are 3 things that are going well? You maybe heard some things that you're like, oh my gosh, oh shit, this is rough, right? But what is going well? Force yourself to find the good. And then I also recommend you look at your life like you're putting up a big force field, right? And you are limiting what is coming in. Maybe the news or social media or other inputs into your life are not serving you very well to get up and go do the work and to feel positive in the morning when you get up. So as much as you can, think about how can I kind of keep some of this negativity out? Because again, we live in a world that our brains are very negatively wired. It's how we survived. But it's not what's going to get you right over to the other side. And it doesn't mean that you put your head in the sand. Of course, you do look at reality, just like what we've talked about here. And we had some amazing presentations. But that you do on purpose limit what comes in, and you go and look for the things that are going to serve you and keep you high spirits. Really making sure that you are taking the time to do the meditation, to do the self-awareness, to do the mindfulness, to realize like even just that moment of self-compassion of like, I'm doing something really effing hard here, right? This is hard. And giving yourself that grace and that compassion is so key to being able to actually go out and continue to do the things that you need to do. I am putting on a training called More Than Survive, Thrive. So it's free. It's on September 13th. And I don't have oh wait, here we go. There's the website as well. So if anybody is interested in more techniques and tools for your toolkit, I'd love to have you there.